Alrighty, hello, hello. Quick mic check. Okay, mic sounds like it's doing all right. Awesome. How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Hey, French fries, welcome. How was my week? It was all right. Yeah, I did that. I'll talk about it some more in a little bit, but I had a pop-up thing that I did, which was a good experience, a good trial run. It was very small, but it was good. And yeah, um, what am I trying to say? I have a little bit of brain fog today. I switched up some medication, and it's hopefully it won't be a consistent thing that I have the brain fog from it, but yeah, we'll see. Anyways, but yeah, overall, I had a good week. How about yourself? Hey Heather, good to see you. How you doing? Hey, we have a Dresden here. Let me pull up. There we go. Dresden. Meow meow. Aw, baby boy. Do you know that you're the star of the show? Everyone agrees. Yeah, everyone agrees. You're the star of the show. You're so cute. If you were on camera all the time, I bet I'd have 1 million followers. Easy. Mm-hmm. No. Okay, he's squirmy. He wants to get down. French fry says, I don't even paint. I'm just here to see Dresden. I know, he's so cute. If I'm telling you, if he was there's actually a channel on YouTube that I follow. Um and they have a orange cat that looks a lot like Dresden, and they do videos about him, and he's very fluffy, very cute cat. He's not as like he's more docile compared to Dresden. He just kind of stands there most of the time. Very, very cute, adorable cat. But Dresden's way more trouble, I think. Um, but yeah, I should wear orange paw gloves on my painting hand and build yourself as Dresden. Oh, make it pretend that Dresden's the one painting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dresden, no. Dresden, you're getting into trouble. I just called you adorable, but you're now getting into trouble. He's eating random hairs off of the floor. Um, so, not that this has anything to do with the painting, but I have a French easel here, and it's very rickety, and I'm trying to see if I can harvest its parts to create a more mobile, um, setup. Um, yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now on this side. See, this This is the part that the French easel, like, that you put your painting. I took it off, trying to figure out how I can stabilize it and attach this directly to a tripod. Although it's a little large, it's a little too large, so I don't know, I'll figure it out. Working on it. It's a work in progress. But the French easel is so rickety and unusable, basically, as is, so yeah. But yeah, I did think about pretending that Dresden is painting the paintings. I could I could make a instead of the face cam, I could make like a animation of Dresden or something. And then I could like a kind of like a VTuber, only I make it of Dresden. Thought about that. Thought that would be funny. Oh, this thing is showing up on camera, huh? Let me see if I can move this out of the way. I do have a question for everyone watching at the moment, and anyone who watches after the fact. If you if you see this, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you've seen my videos where I'm on camera, I know it's a very short bit of the video, but do you like that? Like, do you feel like that adds to the video, or does it not matter much at all, in your opinion? I'm just curious because I've been thinking about trying to do more of that, but I have to organize my room a bit more to be able to do it, and I have to figure out some setup related stuff to be able to do that more consistently. So I'm just curious if it adds or doesn't add in your opinion. I know it's a small sample size, but I am curious. So I had that pop-up thing come up, and I feel really dumb because I posted that I was going to be doing it, and then when I got back, I saw someone made a comment that, saying please do a vlog about it, and I'm like, yeah, I should have vlogged it, but I didn't vlog it because like I'm not a vlogger. I'm not used to vlogging. I haven't done it in the past really, and I was so focused on getting set up and dealing with it that I didn't think about it. And so I can't really make a vlog about it. I can maybe make a video talking about it because I took some photos, but that's the most I did. I took some photos. So I feel really dumb about that, but oh well, next time I will try and vlog about it, I guess. Yeah. Heather says, yeah, I like seeing your face. Okay. And French Fries says, yeah, I think it does. It's easier to connect with a YouTuber when you have a face to go along with the voice. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Do you, I guess my next question would be, do you think that, like, I know you see like, I do the intro and you see my voice, you see my face, and then you know, I cut to just the painting. Do you think that seeing my face the whole time is like necessary or adds to it, or are you like, no, that's a little bit of your face is good. More of your face doesn't add much, which I totally understand. That's the way I feel. All right. But yeah, I didn't vlog the thing, unfortunately, which is, yeah, I feel like I wasted an opportunity there, but I don't know. I'm just not like vlogging. I'll have to make an effort to do that next time, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. Let's see. French fries says, I think it's understandable during a voiceover, but if you're recording something live, then yes, use the face cam. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I haven't figured out how to match my microphones to each other yet. That's I don't know if I can, because when I sit and record, I have a like a you know a big mic, but when I'm standing, I'm using this little lavalier mic, and I haven't figured out how to match the two. So I hate that there's like a sound jump or difference, but I feel like that's understandable, but I still don't like it. But thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback. Um, okay, this is. I let my paint sit a little too long, so I have to use a little bit of Gamsol. Um, very, very little bit, but I do have to use a little bit today. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. I think I'm going to have to do some adjustments to my content a little bit, just because like I love the daily painting idea. I love producing so many paintings. I really do. And but I clearly I can't keep up with the output. But more than that, because I haven't been selling a lot, I have to spend my time in other places doing other things. Oh, Twitch stream isn't working. It's all black. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. Let me see if I can troubleshoot real quick. Um, uh, Des, that might be on your side of things. I just went, I see it. Let me see. And, um, hold on, let's see. Yeah, I see it. Try refreshing, maybe? I don't know. You've refreshed several times. This is so weird. This is weird. Okay. Well, I mean, thank you for letting me know, Des. I appreciate it. The only thing I could possibly do, the only thing that could possibly I could possibly do is change my bit rate, but I can't change it now. I can only change it for the next stream. Um, yeah. Okay, that's not the only thing I can do, but that's the main thing I can do. French Fry says, I can't see Twitch stream either. Huh. That's strange. Okay. I will. Can you hear, or is it just the visuals, or is it also audio? It's strange because when I open it, yeah, okay, you can hear it, but you can't see it. Huh. That's weird. And you can see the thumbnail. I don't use Twitch, so I definitely don't see it. Thanks, Heather. Super helpful. Okay. Let's see. Des says I can't hear it, and it's not giving me options for audio to turn up or down. I reopened playback issue to Twitch. Okay. I reported playback issue. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can do something about that real quick. There's a good chance I cannot. I've been getting this warning from Twitch that that my stream is unstable because my bit rate is too high. But I've been getting that warning for basically the last month, and every stream, like every stream that you've watched on Twitch that has been okay, has had that warning for like the last month or so, if not longer. So I haven't put a lot of a lot into it because I'm like, well, it you know seems to be working, so oh well. Let me see. Des says, I hope you weren't banned again, lol. No, I don't think so. I think this is a bitrate issue, and it might be an issue that I'm not sure I can resolve because the I stream at a higher bit rate to YouTube than I do to Twitch, and I don't know that I can pick and choose different bit rates to different ones, you know? So, yeah. Um, Video bitrate. Yeah. Yeah, that might be the issue. Like I said, it's weird because that's been an issue that has been ongoing, but yeah. Hold on, let me stop and start the stream on Twitch. And if that doesn't solve it, I'll I don't know. I'll try something else offline at some point. All right. I stopped and started it. Maybe that will solve the problem. Des says Twitch changes the bitrate automatically if it needs to, so that's croc. Like I said, I've been getting that warning for a long time, and it's been yeah, it hasn't made any difference. The first time I got it, I was worried, and I was like, oh no, but I couldn't do anything about it, so I was just like, oh well, I'll deal with it after the stream. And then I checked, and everything was fine, so I was just like, all right, whatever. Anyways, I turned off the stream and turned it back on Twitch. That is one thing I will give Twitch credit for. You can easily disconnect and reconnect, whereas on YouTube, a lot of times if you have to disconnect and reconnect, you have to make a whole new stream. It's very frustrating. It's saying you are offline when I ask Twitch to pop out your stream. Give it a second. Oh, no, it says I'm offline. Okay. All right, let's give it just a second. Maybe I did it too quickly and it didn't catch it. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm live again. Or not. Huh. I'm broadcasting, but it's looking like I'm offline. I don't know. Maybe I got banned. No, if I got banned, I wouldn't have access to all of this. Last time I got banned, it kicked me out of the system entirely, which, by the way, is very, very stupid. Their ban system. Okay, first of all, it's not a ban. It's a suspension. Okay, let's be clear. If you're banned, you're gone. If it's a suspension, and it's also really, really dumb because their suspension system, like when you're suspended or banned, you're kicked out of their system entirely. Well, why, if you're going to be banned for a day, why kick you out of the system entirely? What if you wanted to, dispute the ban? What if you wanted to contact Twitch? Like, why would they kick you out of the system entirely if you're banned for a day? Like, why not just prevent you from streaming instead of not let you log into Twitch at all? It's such their system, their approach to things is so strange. Whatever. It's still not working. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You know what I suspect is happening? I suspect that the plugin that I'm using either needs to be updated or the proxies that it uses need to be updated or whatever. So that's my suspicion. But I'm streaming. I don't know why it's not working, but oh well. There's not much I can do about it, unfortunately. This says, and it's all AI too, so you can't dispute it to a person. TikTok is the same way. Yeah, so is YouTube when you're small. If you're big enough on YouTube, then you can talk to a person. But for the small creators, it's all AI. By the way, Des, can you actually do me a favor if you don't mind? Um, in Twitch chat, can you just post and say that I am having technical difficulties with Twitch today, and put a link to my stream on YouTube? Can you do that? Or if that's too much, if you're not up, if you're not in the situation to do that, let me know. But if you are and you don't mind doing that, I'd appreciate it. I didn't think about it when I went back to painting. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't think anyone will randomly show up, but who knows? Because I don't know, it might like randomly kick on and start streaming suddenly, because I'm broadcasting technically, so I don't know what's happening there. This is, I'm not a mod there, so I can't set up a command, but I can keep posting it every once in a while. You could put it right in the title. Yeah, I'll do that. I didn't even change my title now that I think about it. I forgot to do that on Twitch. All right. Well, I'll do that in a few minutes. I don't like to record very, very short clips, and I'm recording right now, so I'll take a break in a few minutes and do that. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback and the help. Yeah, the only reason, by the way, I think you're not a mod on my Twitch is because I didn't want to ask too much of you. I was just like, I don't want to, overstep too much. And I also tried, I think, to mod you and someone else one time, and I couldn't find the like how to do it right away. And I was like, oh fuck it, I'll figure it out later. And then of course I never did. Anyways. So yeah, I had that pop-up thing I did. Sorry I couldn't stream that day or the following day. Um, I had to scramble to get ready for that pop-up thing. Um, it was very last minute. Yeah, very last minute. So a lot of running around to, you know, uh, purchase the things I needed and get everything set up and so on. How did it go? Well, okay, for starters, overall it went well. I did sell a painting, which is really nice. It was to the organizer of the event, uh, which was really cool. It was actually a pretty cool thing because it was one of the paintings that I didn't actually put out on the table because I didn't have space. But I pulled it out to show her, and she just like fell in love with it instantly and was like, "I want this." It's like, alrighty, we can work that out. So that was cool. Um, but the other people there weren't really all that interested. Not specifically because of like what I had. It was the venue was a bar, like just flat out a bar, on a Thursday night, and they have a like it's like a music night where they have uh like a band, like a spot for the band, but it's kind of an open mic improv, uh not improv as in comedy, but improv like jazz or music, like just come and jam kind of thing. So people were there to play music and like jam together, um, which was cool. Like I'm not I don't have any problem with that. I think that's overall really cool. But it's a small bar, very loud because of live music in a small space. And most of the people there seem to be the people who are into the music, who are there for the music, who are either there to play music or friends of the people playing music. Um, so that was clearly like the focus. Um, and, let me put it this way. I don't know that it's the best venue for this type of thing, but I'm not, this isn't like me. To be clear, I'm not trying to complain or anything. I'm just saying like I'm trying to learn from it. I don't think that's necessarily the best venue for this. But it was a great experience. I learned a lot about like how I need to set up and things I need to do, um, you know, to get ready. I am going to be selling at a at like an art fair in a couple of months. So this was a really good like trial run, test run type of thing. So yeah, overall, it went well. If I had not sold a single painting, I still would have considered it going well. Um, as long as I didn't like have something really bad happen, so like as long as it wasn't like a real negative event, I would have considered it a win. Um, so yeah, so I think it went well. And I met some really cool people. I will say that. One of the other artists who was there was really nice and got to chat a bit. I need to actually message him. I need to message a few people from the event, um, just to meet new people, make more friends, and so on. So yeah. So overall, it was a good event. Um, yeah. There were some things that I wasn't a fan of, like someone sat on my table on my paintings. I didn't really like that. Someone also stepped on one of my paintings. I didn't really like that because it fell and then they stepped on it. That wasn't great. But they're okay. They're not ruined. So, it's all good. Um, yeah. But yeah, I think I learned a lot from it, and I will, take what I learned from it and apply it moving forward to the next time I do one of these events. I'm not I'm definitely not ready to do another one of these events right away. I need some time to like figure out some things, but yeah, I think that was good overall. And I will do a video about that. Like I said, I think I'll do a video about that. There's definitely a lot of videos out there about like selling at craft fairs and stuff like that already out there. But I don't know. You know, different different perspective on it, I guess. That is too dark. Oh, and we've been I've been looking into uh, offering prints. I know I've talked about that in the past, but uh, me and Michelle, we've been trying to figure out basically how to offer prints on my website. We're running into some like technical difficulties with like the website design, but yeah, I will be probably. I already have some on my website. Um, the shipping's a little high at the moment for that, but I'm trying to figure the shipping part out. Um, but yeah, I will be offering prints in the beginning only of the daily paintings. Eventually, maybe of the of other paintings. Um, we'll see how that works out. The reason I'm only doing the daily paintings to begin with is because I what's it called? I have high quality photos of those, whereas some of my other paintings, I don't have like high quality photos of them yet. It's a real pain to take photos, like high quality photos of my paintings. Um, and so I need to, but I haven't, I just haven't had the time. And before now, I also didn't have the proper setup either. Now I do, and now I can take pretty high quality photos. They're not as high quality as I'd like them to be, but there are limitations, unfortunately. Hey, Lost Pixel, welcome. How you doing? Good to see you. How are you doing today? Finally got a full day off? Ah, full off day. Yeah. Okay. Glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that. I know you work like crazy. So, that's good to hear. How about you? I'm all right. Um, yeah, I'm doing okay. Um, Apparently Twitch isn't working, but whatever. I mean, that's really a minor complaint. But yeah, otherwise I think, doing all right. Um, Twitch logged me out, so figured I would just watch here instead of bothering with logging back in. Yeah, love that when Twitch does stuff like that. Uh, I I stopped watching a lot of people on Twitch because Twitch logged me out for like a couple months and wouldn't let me log back in for no reason. I wasn't streaming. I wasn't, this is like when I was on a break. I wasn't streaming. I wasn't doing, Twitch logged me out, and then it was giving me such a hard time logging back in that I was just like, oh, whatever. And then magically, I logged back in, no problems. No idea why. Yeah. Las Vegas says I haven't logged into Twitch in so long. Well, I could log back in, just don't want to bother because feeling lazy right now. LOL. Oh, that's fair. My stream isn't working anyways there. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm doing all right. If I'm a little low energy, I switched up some medication because of my insurance. Love that. Thanks, insurance, for that. But yeah, so I'm a little low energy. Side effects, hopefully it evens out over time. We'll see. It's nothing major either way. I just saying, like, if I'm a little, if you're like, oh, you don't look, you look a little, whatever, tired or low energy or whatever. That's why. Last Pixel says that I am one pooped old dude, so low energy sounds wonderful to me. I mean, I do tend to try and do chill stream overall. Like, I've seen people. I'm definitely not, the gamer people who like, screaming and like super hyped up about everything, whatever. Definitely not the vibes here. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do get excited and shit. Just I don't know that it's, you know, for the stream. It's also really hard to paint being and be very animated. Paintings, you kind of want to be still for a lot of it. to a degree, obviously. Like you do move around, but you know. Lost Pixel says, I wish I could still get hyped. LOL, these bones are too old. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. I wouldn't go that far. But yeah. But I understand the feeling. There are definitely days where it's just like there's no hype to be had, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I've been talking about this a little bit, but now that there's more here, you know, one thing is I'm like going to be probably changing up. Hold on a second. Let's see. Las Vegas says also, as is usual on my rare check-ins, I haven't forgotten about stuff, just been busy. Don't worry about it, man. It's been working just fine. There's some weird bugs and some weird stuff occasionally, but it's been working really well. So overall, very happy with it. I really appreciate it. Uh, Last Pixel says the small amount of free time I have. I've been working on 3D stuff. Hey, no worries. I totally get it. And like I said, it's been working overall pretty well. Like I said, I've run into like a few weird bugs and stuff, but overall pretty good. I really appreciate it. Lost Pixel wrote a script for me to help with my video editing, uh, to like help streamline my time lapse process. Uh, so that's what we are talking about. Says, but I want to make it better. LOL. It bugs me that it isn't what I want it to be. I totally understand where you're coming from. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. Um, we'll get there. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, no, I was talking about some people before some people came in. I was talking about my content. I'm probably going to have to switch up some aspects of my videos and how I do things. I haven't figured out exactly how, but that the idea was, you know, I do these daily paintings and daily videos, and clearly I'm not keeping up with the production time because it's a crazy production time, but also I'm not selling as much as I need to in order to, you know, make money. Um, and so so I have to I have to spend a lot of time on other things as well, which is making it harder for me to make the paintings and videos. So I have to figure something out to make it work better overall. Not sure exactly what, kind of trying to figure that out at the moment. Um, Last Pixel says, hopefully in a few months the contract will end, but they ended up extending it. Next possible renewal for contract is in 4 months. Oh man. Well, I hope you get what you want, if you want the renewal or not. I totally get where you're coming from, where you're at the point where you're just like, I need a break. I totally understand that feeling. Um, you you work, from what it sounds like, in like an uh, insane hours and an insane amount. So I get that. Last week says I want them to not renew, need a break. Been burning the candle at both ends for too long. I feel that. I totally feel that. Well, fingers crossed for you. Yeah, I've been uh, burning the candle at both ends too. Not this week was a little bit of recovery actually, but just in general, yeah, it's been feeling like that. So I know where you're coming from. You know, trying pacing yourself is so hard sometimes. Last week says, yeah, today was a rare day off where I didn't have to run over all over creation getting stuff squared away. Yeah. Let's see. Last Pixel says, but it's given me the chance to put a finishing touches on some 3D assets I'm going to release. So that's fun. That's really cool. That's very cool. You know, this is a little bit on the same subject. I found out that the local library here has a they have a laser cutter, a 3D printer, and some other stuff like that, which is really neat. And all you have to do is do some training, and then you can use it, you know, for a small price, um, which is really neat. Because I have some things I've wanted to make, and granted, I could probably make them with just some like regular hand tools, you know, like power tools, but I don't have the power tools. And I don't have the setup for it, and I don't have all the, you know, the whole thing. Like, and so the laser cutter might end up being the best option. Lost Pixel says, I love the laser cutter at work. Wish we had something like that in our library here. Yeah. So the thing is, there's a couple of things I want to make, and it requires some basic, like, some basic like cutting and preparing, but like I said, I don't have the tools. It would be good to have the tools, but you know, tools are expensive, So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. Plus, obviously it would have more options anyways. So not just what for that one thing. It would be cool to learn. Yeah, I was really surprised that they had that thing, that they had that stuff. You occasionally use a laser cutter at work to make your own stuff. That's one of the perks at work. That's cool. All right, let me. Um, let's see here. Um, all right. My, I'm just doing some stuff for my Twitch stream. Uh, just changing the title and stuff so that if anyone comes to my Twitch stream, they know. Uh, all right. Well, updated my Twitch stream. Um, let's see. Lost Pixel says I cut some blades of various types for some swords I'm planning on making. That's cool. I already have the pommels and hilts made. Nice. You just need to have leather cut for the grips. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to make or figure out how to make, like I said, I know I can make this with hand tools, but I have this thing here. I have this thing right here. So I pulled this off of my French easel that I have because my French easel's real rickety and not great. So it's just this, it's a simple thing. You can see the way the wood pieces fit into each other. I know this is a simple thing that I could make with normal tools. And there's definitely a simplified version of this that you can make with like hand tools. But there are some things that would be really hard for me to make. Like you can see you can see here, like there's like a little step here specifically for this so that it sits underneath the wood, you know, so it's more flush when it's tightened down, stuff like that, like little things like that that I would have a hard time making. Like I said, with the right tools, I know it's doable, but I don't have those tools, and buying all the tools to make that would be, I think, very expensive. And having the space for them and place to set it up and everything, I don't know that it's something that I can really, you know, invest in at the moment. But buying some wood and getting it, you know, designing it and cutting it in the laser cutter, I think I could. Yeah. Let's see. French Fry says, I just made an easel from taping together cardboard. Been using it since September. Nice. Do you mind sharing it on the Discord? I'd love to see how you you know, made it. I understand it's cardboard, but I still would love to see the design. Leoxson says, cool paintings. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, most of the time this is the view you end up getting. But yeah, I was just showing off or talking about my easel thing that I'm trying to design or build. Maybe jerry rig together. Anyways, how you doing? Is this... I don't recognize your name. I'm really bad with names though, so if you've been here before, welcome back. But if not, welcome to the stream. And yeah, we talk painting and all kinds of other things. A lot of times it's, you know, unrelated to painting, but mostly painting. And streaming. Painting and streaming, I guess, yeah. No, you just arrived? Nice. Are you an artist? You know, that this tends to attract artists, so or artistic people, definitely. If you are an artist, you can't share in chat, but you can share in my Discord. If you would like to join my Discord and share art, you are welcome to do that. Yes, I am. I draw analog and digital. Nice. Oh, and cats. Yes, cats. They show up. We talk cats a lot too, and they guest star. I mean, honestly, they're the real stars, but they're not on enough to be considered, you know, the real stars. But it's purely a time issue. Yeah. Lost Pixel says that's why Twitch is better. You can do the cat redeems. That's true. That's true. Des says, or post your IG name here and we can look you up. That's true. You can. You can't put the link though. Don't put the full link. It won't work. Des says, I did a lot of digital painting over the last few years, changed to oils now. Yeah, I used to be fully digital at one point. Now I mostly do oil painting for painting, and then digital is mostly like illustration or storyboards, stuff like that. Oh, you actually saw this on Twitch, but it was offline, and YouTube stream still works. Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties with Twitch. I don't know why it's giving me a hard time today, but I'm glad you made it. Yeah, I'll try and get Twitch working again for next time, but I think it might be beyond my abilities to fix it midstream, unfortunately. So what kind of artwork do you do and what mediums do you use? You said you analog. I know you said digital as well, but I mean in analog. Let's see. Um, Las Pixel says because it's Twitch, lol. I'm not on my Twitch account, so I can badmouth it all I want. Mwahaha. I definitely have my issue. I have issues with Twitch, uh, but yeah, whatever. It's, it is what it is. It's what's available, and yeah. Luckily, YouTube also exists. Uh, Leoxon says I use just graphite pencils and some ink pens. A3 usually. It varies a lot. Hey, absolutely. Not saying that you're starting out, but I will say that most people start out with pencils regardless. So I don't know anybody who would look down on graphite pencils. So yeah, that's such an interesting way to smudge. LOL. Yeah. So this is a brayer. It's a print thing. And I use it to smudge everything around. Um, it it smudges things around. It averages things out a lot, and which is useful. It also because I don't do a what's it called, a wash to begin with. This helps cover the surface a bit more um, in a uniformed way, and also if I happen to put any paint down a little too thick, it it tends to lift the thick. It smudges the thick paint around more and lifts that more, so it helps with that as well. It's really useful. Lost Pixel says I love graphite, just sadly can't use them anymore. Yeah. French fries says charcoal supremacy. I mean, they each have their place. I'll say this. Um, I hate I hate using charcoal, and not because of the not because of the medium or anything, or the look or anything. I hate charcoal because of the dust. I can't stand how, you know I can't stand it getting everywhere. The dust, I hate that part about it. And I will say charcoal tends to get I mean, charcoal, graphite gets all over my hand too. So, um, yeah, not a huge fan. I don't like getting my hands all that dirty. That's why I wear gloves. Um, don't get me wrong, and oil painting is very dirty as well. That's why I wear gloves. But I can't draw with gloves on. That I think that would be too weird. Loksun says, look like a coal miner in the end of the day. Oh, with charcoal? Yeah. Yeah. I hate that so much. That's one of the reasons I've never tried pastels. Um, you know, I don't want that dust. I hate breathing it in and everything. That's the other thing. I can't stand that. Yeah. Lost Pixel says, I could hold a graphite one, but charcoal would be me actively attempting to control Z myself. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, no, the graphite, I mean, both, but the charcoal just, I hate how dusty it is. And the thing that's unfortunate is charcoal is actually such a good medium for practice, especially. Like it is, it's good on its own, don't get me wrong. Like you can do amazing artwork with it, but it is such a good medium specifically for practicing because um, it's, how can I put this? Someone described it once as a dry version of painting. Like it's technically a dry medium, but it functions much the same as painting, you know, um, because it's all values, it's all, you know, um, tones and values. You don't have to use, what's it called? You don't, you don't have to draw with lines in it and everything. And you can push and pull the values. It's really great for practice and study. Um, and it's cheap, relatively speaking, it's cheap. The paper you do practice on can be very cheap. You can literally use the newsprint paper. Um, yeah, there's so much going for it. Um, but I hate using it. I'm sorry you guys can't see me. Try to keep my mixing in frame, but sometimes I run out of space and I start mixing outside of frame. And yeah, digital, there's a lot of things I love about digital. Um, but after I got into oil painting, now when I try and paint digitally, it just does not um, does not compare at all. And I'm not talking about the end result. I do feel like that's true for the end result as well, but I'm not talking about the end result. I'm just talking about the experience of using the medium. It's not even close. But digital does have so many advantages in so many ways, so I do understand it. Like I said, I went all digital for a long time, and I still work digitally for a lot of things. So yeah. Des, I have a question for you. We had a slight disagreement at one point regarding oil painting, and I'm curious if your feelings on that have changed. Uh, Back when you were getting into oil painting or getting back into oil painting, I'm not sure, but when you were getting back into oil painting or getting into it, uh, we had a slight disagreement because I said that I think oil painting is um, one of the most forgiving mediums aside from digital, right? And you know, and you had a bit of a disagreement with me about that. I'm curious if your opinion has changed now that you've been using it for a couple of years now. You're welcome to disagree with me. I don't think that you've ever shied away from that, but I'm just curious. That says, "Oh my God, it's paint. If you make a mistake, just paint over it. It's super forgiving." Yeah, I agree. Or you just wipe it off. Yeah, no, I had a conversation that on Thursday, someone was like at the event was like, "Oh, these are oil paintings. That's crazy. That's so difficult." And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I mean the paint itself isn't difficult. The medium isn't, because they did watercolors, and I'm like, that's way harder than oil painting. I don't know what you're thinking. Watercolor is way harder than oil painting. This is I was super panicked about doing things wrong. Yeah, no, I get that. I totally understand where you're coming from. In the beginning, I found it so difficult. It really was. But once you get past the learning curve or the hump, then the medium stops being the issue. Um, then it becomes an issue of painting, unrelated to the like medium, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely am aware that there's an initial learning curve that's a little hard to get past. Um, but once you get past that, I feel like oil paints are one of the easiest paints out there. They're not the most convenient all the time. I will admit that. I, I will not claim otherwise, but yeah. It says, I struggle so much with acrylics now. If I attempt it, I have to be super careful about how much color I mix because it dries or you run out and have to remix. Might get the wrong color, etc. And I'm enjoying the thickness of oils now. Impasto can be my friend. Uh, but with acrylics, that's not so fun. Yeah, no, I get that. Absolutely. Last Pixel says, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I got to go start fixing food for the first half of the week. have a good rest of your stream. It was nice getting to hang out for a few. Yeah, man, it was great. It was great seeing you. Great to hang out for a bit. Have a good rest of your week, and I will see you around, man. Troy says got the morning off tomorrow. Super excited to paint. What should I do? Oh, I don't know. That I'm happy for you, but I don't know what you should do other than paint. Yeah, see, the Oakson has the same idea. Paint. Thanks, very helpful. Oh, no, I know. Super helpful. No, I mean, I don't know what you should paint. That's a tough one. Um, if I remember correctly, and feel free to, it's hard for me to sometimes remember some of these things. If I remember correctly, you do more landscapes and still lives, right? But mostly landscapes, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and if that's the case, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I'm not very good. I've done some landscapes, but I'm not, it's not my area really. Um, you know, but I could be wrong. My brain is having a hard time today, and sometimes I have a hard time connecting um, names to things. I know you've done portraits. I remember you did the what's it called? Portraits for Portrait Artist of the Year, um, for the Portrait Artist of the Year streams. Need to do more of those. Need to do another one of those. You know, if you're going to do a portrait, there's always a self-portrait. Or if you're going to do um, not a self-portrait, but something else, there's always fan art that's you could do if you haven't done that in a while. I actually am looking at doing some fan art. There's a few things I'm looking at possibly doing in the very near future, some fan art for on stream, just for the fun of it. Leoxon says paint some armor. That shit sucks. Yeah, it does. I agree. I hate armor. Hold on a second. Um, wait. Okay. French fries says mostly portraits and figures. What's wrong with my brain today? I was thinking I could take old Arnold Schwarzenegger photo, do some make him green to be the Hulk, but I think it might end up looking like Frankenstein. It would look like Frankenstein. All right. French fries, I don't know why my brain was like, you do landscapes. Like I said, I remember your no, Winnie, this is Winnie. Winnie's here. Say hi, Winnie. Yeah, meow. She doesn't like being picked up that much. I remember your drawings from Portrait Artist of the Year stream from the Portrait Artist of the Year streams. Um, I don't know why my brain was being dumb. Anyways, sorry about that. I apologize. Yeah, this is Winnie. She does, like I said, she doesn't like being picked up that much. She does like sitting on my lap for hours, but oh, nope. I know, little girl. She's very fluffy, as you can see, like very fluffy. Okay, little girl, I'll put you down. I'll put you down. Sorry she couldn't stick around for longer. She just would not be having it. Yeah, Schwarzenegger will look like Frankenstein, unless you're far enough away to make him Hulk. But if you make him Hulk, his face is going to be too small for it to really be Arnold. You know what I mean? Unless it's very large, unless you're doing a very large painting. But I think otherwise, I do think you're right. He'll look like Frankenstein, probably. Um, I am what's it called? I'm thinking of doing a another John Wick painting. Um, that's one that I'm thinking about doing. Camera. Hi, camera. I just saw an ad, a trailer for the Ballerina or whatever, which is like a John Wick spin-off. Um, yeah. Uh, I'm a little worried about it, but I'm also looking forward to it. Where is my marker? There it is. Found it. Yeah, otherwise, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've had people, I'm not saying that you should do this, or rather, I mean, how can I phrase this? I've had the experience where people tell me, "Oh, you should paint this or you should paint that," and that can, it can be difficult. I've had a bunch of people kind of pushing me to do some like political related stuff, and I'm just like, I don't really want to spend the time on that, and I don't feel like that benefits me in any way. So I haven't. So when you ask like what should you paint? I don't know, man. It's hard to say. What should you paint? Also depends what um like what you I don't know what you want to get out of it. Let me ask that actually. French fries, let me ask that. What do you want to get out of the painting session? That's a really important question. What is it you want to get out of your painting session tomorrow? Like you have the opportunity to paint. What do you want to get out of it? That's yeah. That's my question to you. Framing and painting is sometimes challenging. Like I need to, I'm trying definitely am splitting my focus and I sometimes I don't feel it, sometimes I definitely do. I think my color French says, I think my color mixing sucks. My darks end up blue and my lights end up yellow. Okay. Then why don't you do a painting um, with warm lights and cool lights and warm shadows. Heather says, I'm drawing tomorrow, but my painting class on Tuesday, Thursday, we are working on still life from observation. I've been enjoying it because I'm feeling like we're finally using our techniques. That's great, Heather. Really happy to hear that. Yeah, I think you're developing, like I've seen what you've been doing. You know, you're growing and developing really quickly. I think that's awesome. Heather says, so it's nice to see that all the boring basic lessons are coming to fruition. Yes, yes. Unfortunately, there's the basic boring stuff that you have to do. It's It's a big part of it, unfortunately. French says, okay, I'll hit Pinterest and see what I can find. Yeah. Also, you can if you can't find a good reference with the right colors, you can take a reference piece that has that's in black and white and just make up the colors. You can try for like a more realistic version, or you can go, you know, you can push it. But either way, you can use a black and white photo, or you can use a colored photo, turn it black and white, and just paint it however you want. Heather says, my drawing teacher insists I submit the picture of Steve to the student show. What's wrong with that? That they're basically saying they're proud of what you've done and they want to show it off. I scared, but I submitted it. Good. I'm glad you did. That's fantastic. It's should do. You know, I don't remember who. I don't remember where I. This is a conversation that I cannot recall where I heard it. I don't recall if this was a conversation I had, if this was a podcast I heard. I legitimately do not recall who said this or anything. Like, I just remember the sentiment, not anything else. But the sentiment was that when it comes to art, uh, people are usually extremely what's it called? Positive and encouraging, and you know, um, like not. I don't want to say gentle because that's not the right word, but like just overall positive towards artists and their art in the beginning. Once you reach a certain skill level and success level, then it actually flips. Well, it doesn't flip, but to some people flip and they become assholes about it for no real good reason. Um, but that doesn't happen right away. That is only something that happens later on. And it's probably a good thing when it does. It's probably a sign that you're kind of making it, so to speak. Uh, Up until that point, people are very positive. Um, so, you know, don't be scared to submit. I'm glad you did. I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah. if you're not taking classes, and of course you are, Heather, so you don't really have to worry about this, but if you're not taking classes, then getting artistic feedback that is helpful and also honest can actually be pretty difficult sometimes. Like I said, you're taking a class, so you don't need to worry about that. That's exactly the point of a class and the point of a teacher, you know. But if you don't have that, sometimes it can be very challenging to find those things. Leo Leoxon asks, I can ask two of my friends critique, and they will both say contradictory things. Yes, I actually, yes, it's very difficult, or contradict each other rather. Yeah. Well, okay, I have a story for you. Just as an example, I used to go to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, for the portfolio reviews. I was trying to get work, and I would go and I would spend all day there, in line because I wanted to get seen by multiple companies to try and get in, right? And I went to one critique. This is when I was trying to get into comics, and I showed them my portfolio, and the guy was like, oh, "Okay, he flipped through it, and he basically said, this this whole portfolio, your whole portfolio is essentially trash." He wasn't that mean about it, but he's like, none of this is really good. But this one panel is amazing. If your whole portfolio looked like this one panel, you would get a job like that, like nothing, like so quick. And then after, like, I got out of that portfolio review, and because of the schedule, literally walked out of that portfolio review right into a second portfolio review. And the guy there said, I really like your portfolio. I love everything in it. But this one panel is really bad. Like, I would redo that or just remove it entirely. It's so bad. And it was the same panel, this same one. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do then? If that's the feedback you're getting. And the answer is, you need to find good people that you trust to give you good feedback. A lot of times it's artists. It's not only artists, sometimes editors. I got amazing feedback from an editor once that was super duper helpful. And it's not the feedback that like tears you down, but it's constructive. And that's something that people don't understand, what constructive criticism is. If I don't know if you've had the people who like tough love and all that. No, that you don't need tough love. You need constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is stuff that they can put into words, they can clarify, and they can explain what needs to be done, to improve it. That's constructive. If it's lacking those things, not very constructive. But yeah, it is tough. All right, I missed a bunch of messages. Let's see. Heather says, I find that with my writing, since I'm not in school for it, it's hard to get feedback at all. Yes, it is. I need to get back to writing though. Now that I have more time. Yeah. And then Heather says, oh, I remember bringing you lunch and waiting up there with you. Yeah, Heather and I used to go to Comic-Con together, and she would go enjoy the convention while I stayed and waited in line for hours. Let me see. Heather says, I remember the guy that told you that Juggernaut's proportions were unbelievable. And you were like, that's the point of Juggernaut? Yeah, absolutely. I got some of the most ridiculous feedback there. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Leoki says, one of the paintings on screen now had an incredibly tasty blue background. Oh, thank you. I don't know which one that was, but I appreciate that. Thank you. French Fry says, the internet is a terrible place to get feedback. All they tell you is to improve your anatomy. You know, I will say this. Here's the thing about improve your anatomy. For 99% of people, you can give that you can tell them that and it's true. But that doesn't mean it's helpful, you know? Like, it's true. I could improve my anatomy. I'm pretty good at it, but I could improve my anatomy. You know, but doesn't mean it's helpful, you know? Absolutely. Yeah, no, the internet's not a great place. Like I said, it depends. You can get good feedback. I have a feedback corner on my Discord, and I think I try and do a good job of it, you know, when I do it. But it's tough. You also have to remember, like, you have to keep in mind who you're asking for feedback. You know, like if you ask me for feedback, I'll give you feedback, but I'm going to come at it from my perspective, of course. You know, so if you're asking me feedback on like manga drawings, I will have some ability to give you some feedback, but I'm by no means an expert at it. And in that case, I would suggest finding someone who's more of an expert in it to give you the feedback. Liaoxun says wonky anatomy can look good. Expressionist paintings do it all the time. Oh, absolutely. Not to mention that, like, I mean, this is at Comic-Con. I remember, like, they told me that the anatomy was the proportions were wrong, and then I remember going downstairs and seeing, like, you know, a big thing of like Wolverine, and his proportions were like, it was like a, you know, poster or something of Wolverine, and he's, you know, he's like crouched down, claws out, you know, with his hands up and everything, you know, screaming. And I'm just looking at that, I'm like, the fuck is he talking about? These proportions are completely off. Like, these aren't realistic at all. I mean, it looks good, but it's not realistic. You know, if he had said the proportions are, you know, this doesn't look good, that's fair. But tell me that the Juggernaut's proportions are off. Like, okay, what do you mean? Is this like, explain, if they're off, then explain it to me. You see, okay, this is a great example. Bad criticism versus good criticism. The proportions are off. Okay, what does that mean? If you can't tell me what that means, it's not very helpful. But if you tell me the proportions are off, here's why. The head, a little too big or small, whatever, and also set too high or low. If you need the shoulders to be wider and the arms are too long, legs are too long, you need them to be a little more boxy or whatever, that's helpful. You might be wrong still, because like you have you know, each person has their own perspective on some of these things. Some of them aren't, you know, empirical, like this is always correct, but at least it's constructive, right? Like at least it explains what the issue is, how to fix it, and it pinpoints it. That's helpful. But yeah, wonky anatomy is just whatever. You know, people put too much stock into that sometimes. You know, the supposed like, you know, people talk about like, you know, what's his name? Frank Frazetta, so good with anatomy. His anatomy is amazing. Yeah, yeah, he is. It is. Don't tell me there isn't wonky anatomy in some of his paintings. No one cares. French Fry says Bridgman is considered the go-to guy on anatomy. His proportions are definitely unrealistic, and that's the point. They're simplified. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It Here's the thing. This is the frustrating thing that you will come across in art. Um, as an artist, you will do something, and someone will tell you, "Oh, that's not good," or "That's wrong. You shouldn't do that." And then you'll turn around and you'll find an artist who's super successful, super popular, and is considered, you know, a really good artist who does exactly what you were told not to do. It is very, very frustrating as an artist to be in that situation. However, sometimes it's not as simple as like, oh, if they do it and I do it, that means that, you know, all the criticism I'm getting is wrong. That's not always the case. Sometimes that is the case, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's an execution issue, right? Like sometimes it's like, you know, when I, you know, if I get the comment about my anatomy, like, yeah, maybe I'm making wonky anatomy, but maybe I'm just not executing the wonky anatomy in a way that is appealing. And because of that, I'm not getting the positive, you know, reaction that I'm looking for. It is hard and challenging, and it's not, you know, it's very hard to know what's going on. This is why you need good feedback, good criticism from people, and it takes time, you know, unfortunately. But it is very difficult to know that sometimes because, to give an example, you know, Frank Frazetta, fantastic artist, he had a hard time making it in comic books because honestly, his comic book drawings weren't as good as his paintings, in my opinion. But it wasn't just that. His style just wasn't popular at the time. So even though he was a good artist, just wasn't the right time for it. And a lot of times that can be the case too with, you know, like if one artist succeeds with a style or doing something and then you're told not to do that, could just be the timing is like, yeah, they did that when it wasn't popular or when it was popular, and now it's not, and so you're getting the criticism not to do it. It's tough. Heather says, one of my problems in class is that some of the students have distinct styles and aren't getting the basics down because they are stuck in their style, but the teacher is teaching the fundamentals. Yeah. Well, I talked about this, I mentioned this briefly in my last video about like style, you know, and the fundamentals. And it's like, first of all, you naturally develop your own style as you know, the more you do this, the more you naturally develop your own style. Now, it might not be the style you want, in which case you have to work towards developing it into different direction. But when you're working on the fundamentals, you don't have to worry about style, just work on the fundamentals. At some point, the fundamentals cap out. they don't really, but the growth on it is so small that the how much you improve, feels like you're not improving. And it's more than just that. It's also like there's more to art than just the fundamentals, but that is the foundation. That's, it's in the name. That is the foundation of it. And you need it, if you have a good, strong foundation, it really helps when you want to develop your style and when you want to develop, you know, something more. But a lot of times artists, um, one thing that's very common is artists, they use style as a crutch to get around, um, uh, you know, certain things they might lack in foundational skills. Um, and they start, once they use that crutch, what happens is part of their skills develop, part of their skills become overdeveloped, and part of their skills become underdeveloped for their experience level. And that puts them in a really tough spot because in order to improve their fundamentals, in order to bring everything into the you know correct appropriate level for them, they have to step back and produce a bunch of work that is, not as good as what they can produce otherwise. And people don't like to do that. And so, uh, a lot of times they get stuck at that stage and have a very hard time getting out of it. And it's, this isn't a black and white type of thing. It's very nuanced and difficult because sometimes there's a certain amount of, there's only a certain amount of time and effort that you can put into things. So, people also develop um, styles for that. And also they develop styles just because like they're you know, not as interested in painting certain things. So over time, like I gravitate towards other things and you know, that does disproportionately develop certain skills. But at some point you have to make these choices. And it's just a matter of like, is it a choice or is it just because you're, you know, lazy or incapable or whatever? I think those are kind of distinctions that I try and make. But yeah, I'm sure that's very common in the class where people come in with their own style already and struggle with the fundamentals. There are atelier programs um, And for anyone who doesn't know what an atelier is, it's a art school that's like it's not accredited usually. Um, it's an art program where um, they I don't know how to best to describe it. Like they teach you take classes, but it's almost like you have a mentor and they teach you how to you know how to develop your skills and everything. And they give a lot of homework usually and a lot of practice and stuff like that. Anyways, there's probably a better definition for it. Um, but basically in art schools. Um, French Fry says it's kind of an apprenticeship. It is, but it isn't because that's what it is originally, but like that's why I was struggling with it because that's what it is originally, but a lot of them will have like, you know, they'll have like 30 people and it's like, I mean, come on, it's kind of like an apprenticeship, but I mean, really it's just a fancy word for like an art school kind of thing at this point. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's yeah. Anyways, but my whole point is that there are ateliers out there that will not take students um, over a certain age um, or over a certain, or if they have too much experience because they have too many bad habits at this point, and they don't want to deal with, you know, trying to break them of the bad habits and train them the proper way. So, you know, I mean, people definitely develop bad habits. Everyone has them. Um, you know, every artist has them. But yeah, I'm not saying that's the norm for the record. I'm just saying I've heard of ateliers who do that. Personally, I would probably avoid any atelier that does do that because it would worry me that they are um, basically trying to take advantage of their young, you know, apprentices or students. And let's be clear, that does happen. So I would be, if they have a policy of like, we don't take anybody over a certain age, I'd be like, that's suspicious. But yeah, they can justify it however they want. I will still think it's suspicious. By the way, this is kind of this isn't really connected, but like certain aspects of that last conversation about apprenticeship um, just made me think about this. Have any of you, are any of you familiar with raw straws? And have you heard about the controversy that's been going on lately? I am not going to cover it, to be clear, because I do not have enough knowledge or receipts that I can confidently speak on it. I've just seen some videos about it. And yeah, I don't know enough to be like, yes, this is definitely what has happened. But it's interesting. French Fry says, I heard about it, but not any of the details. And there's like two different like things going on. It's like one is a conversation like about AI, and the other is him with like not paying people to like work his booth at conventions. I will say it is frustrating to see some of the like big artists online, go into using AI. And to be clear, like I know I've shit on AI a lot, um, but like there are also degrees of like using AI, right? Like that would be, that bother me more or less, right? Like depending on how and what you're doing with it, you know, um, maybe that sounds, hypocritical or whatever, but like it's true. Like if you're presenting a piece of art as your own and AI made it, I feel very different, I feel very differently about that versus an artist who's like, oh yeah, I painted this, but I used AI to edit some of my reference photos. I'm not gonna hold those two at the same degree. It's just not the same thing to me. Um, but yeah, it's frustrating to see that like a bunch of big name, you know, YouTubers and artists, how how frequently or how much they just turn to AI to like do stuff. And I don't mean like to make reference for themselves. And also, I hate the fact that they're, you know, paying these companies, but yeah, that is what it is. I don't know. But yeah, it's, you know, Ross draws. I'm a little surprised by some of it, but you know, I guess the thing that gets me is that at a certain point, I'm just like, why, like, I don't know, why bother? Like, you already have the success. Why, you know, turn to these things or what? I don't know. But, I understanding people is definitely something like understanding how people think and what motivates them is definitely something that I find challenging. So I don't know what to say about that. All right. So I am going to be ending stream in a few minutes because I can tell that like I've gotten to the point where my focus is so frayed, I'm starting to actually make it worse rather than improve things. So I need a break. So I'm going to have to end stream, take a bit of a break, and come back to this. It's a good start. It's a solid start, but I'm definitely starting to mess it up more than I'm starting to improve it. So I need to just, step back, take a break, let my eyes refresh and everything. Yeah. French fries says, see you, Leah. Thanks for the stream. It was fun. Hey, man, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Good luck with your painting tomorrow. I hope you have a good session. Please let me, if you're comfortable with it, I'd love to see what you work on. And I will be back on Thursday. I'll try and stream more this week if I can. I know I always say that, but I'm going to try. That's all I can do. But yeah, what else? I don't know. My brain just like fucking, yeah, I stalled out. I don't know. Clearly need a break. Laura, Des says, yeah, post your work in Discord. Yeah, absolutely. Please share your work in Discord this goes for everybody. And, hopefully I'll have a new video out Tuesday. Hopefully tomorrow, but I doubt it. But, Tuesday. Fingers crossed Tuesday. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. And that's it. I'll catch you around.